The following program is presented by New Mexico Dish TV, providing Southwesterners with satellite programming everywhere.
Hey everybody, hope you're doing good tonight. We're in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada for tonight's RWL Southwest Wrestling. I'm Chicago Denny Awesome, and joining me is my buddy, the newly appointed and duly designated General Manager of the RWL Southwest region, Gene Berry, my buddy, my pal. Congratulations, Gene, you did great.
Well, I can't recommend arriving drunk at work to make a point to everyone. It certainly seems to have worked for me. But I can't take all the credit, Dan. Some of that credit goes to Hangman Tex Lynch, who's assured me that next month we'll be back again with a new environment, new equipment, and this will be our last broadcast over this wretched New Mexico Dish Network.
Yep, say goodbye to rinky-dink service serving less than 100 homes. Meantime, up next on RWL Southwest, our opening match is going to be George the Animal Steele versus Greg the Hammer Valentine.
I'm calling it right now. Steele's an idiot. Put my money on Valentine.
Good evening, fans. Welcome to RWL Southwest Wrestling. Our opening match tonight, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. First, the manager, Captain Louis Albano. And from Detroit, Michigan, weighing 302 pounds, George the Animal Steele.
Without question, Danny, one of my least favorite wrestlers in the entire world, George the Animal Steele, who could use some electrolysis.
Personally, I want to bathe the guy in a bathtub full of Nair, but that's just me. Put that aside, George the Animal Steele, set to go, ready to compete against Greg the Hammer Valentine in a Legends Division match that's definitely going to be one to watch.
As I said before, put my money on Greg Valentine, a man who at least has a working brain.
Oh yeah, granted, his brain's a little bit effed up, but George is still a legendary performer.
That and $9 will get you a rotten cup of coffee at Starbucks.
His opponent, from Seattle, Washington, weighing in at 246 pounds, Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Not the first time we see Greg the Hammer Valentine around here at RWL Southwest, but he's definitely got a tall order in front of him as far as George the Animal Steele is concerned.
Greg's advantage comes from being a thinking animal, unlike George the Animal Steele. Greg the Hammer Valentine can reason quickly.
You know something, Gene? I don't think you realize the potential hazard that Greg the Hammer Valentine's putting himself in going up against George the Animal Steele.
He might catch some sort of staph infection.
Ha! Gene, that's messed up. All right, well, our first matchup of the night, a Legends Division matchup, just about set to go here. The official rings the bell. George the Animal Steele misses with the clothesline. Catches Valentine with a hip toss. Valentine takes Animal Steele down with a drop toe hold. George Steele shoves Valentine down to the canvas. Steele rounds him up. Nails him with a backbreaker. George the Animal Steele starting to put the boots to Greg the Hammer Valentine. Valentine whipped into the corner. He counters and escapes the corner but catches a kick. The takes him down to the mat again. George the Animal Steel dragging Valentine just about center ring. Drops a fist on him. Steel with a hard right hand. Rounds up Valentine. Has him up against the ropes. Hard whip to the opposite side. Valentine quick with the counter. Steel counters two. Valentine back into the corner again. Catches a clothesline. Lines up down on the mat. Steel has him up over the shoulders. Up off the top rope. Down goes Greg Valentine. George Steel pins one. But only a one. Greg Valentine rolls out of the ring. Rolls himself back inside. Turns around. George the Animal Steel. Classic amateur wrestling takedown. Followed up with a boot to the back of the head. Greg the Hammer Valentine taking control of this match away from George the Animal Steel right in front of Captain Lou Albano. You know he can't be happy about that. Valentine cover. Just a 2 count. George the Animal Steel powering out of the pin. George Steel taking a little bit of punishment here at the hands of Greg the Hammer Valentine. Gets his head slammed to the canvas again. Valentine starts putting the boots to George the Animal Steel. Steel lines up the arm and a shoulder tackle, takes Valentine down. A leg drop across the throat. George the Animal Steel countered by Greg the Hammer Valentine, back up on his feet. A clothesline that takes George the Animal Steel out over the top rope and out onto the floor. Valentine rounds up George Steel. Steel counters. Valentine counters. Steel counters with an arm drag. Valentine nails him with a kick, takes himself back inside the ring. And here comes George the Animal Steel right after him. Steel with an elbow to the face. Valentine counters with another elbow to the face. Whips Steel to the ropes. Steel quickly takes him down. Smashes his elbow into Valentine's shoulder. A kick. A counter to the kick from Valentine, and an elbow across the top of the head to George the Animal Steel. Greg Valentine goes to work on the left arm of George the Animal Steel, trying to yank it out of the socket. George Steel finding himself in a little bit of trouble here. Valentine lets go of the hold and goes into a different kind of hold. George the Animal Steel catching some business here. A back body drop for Greg Valentine. George Steel rounds up Greg Valentine. Valentine counters with an inverted DDT that puts George the Animal Steel on the floor on the outside. Valentine going right after him, but George Steel takes himself back inside the ring. Valentine has him up. A knee breaker and a kick to the leg. Greg Valentine drives the knee of George the Animal Steel into the mat. Follows that up with a stomp. He's softening up them legs for the figure 4. You can count on it. Look at this. There's a leg snap from Valentine. And sure enough, here we go. Roll another leg snap from Greg the Hammer Valentine. Goes for a cover, but only a 2 count. George the Animal Steel still too tough. Valentine tries to gouge the face of George the Animal Steel, but he counters. Valentine drags him with a fireman's carry. Another knee breaker. Greg Valentine taking control of this matchup from George the Animal Steel. A stomp to the chest. Animal quickly back up. A kick to the midsection of Valentine. Up over the shoulder, but Valentine counters it into a DDT. Down goes George Steel. Up, Lou Albano starting to argue with Greg Valentine as George the Animal Steel gets back up to a standing position. Goes behind. Whoa! Jumping neckbreaker from George Steel. George the Animal Steel moves back in on Greg Valentine. Tags him with a clothesline. A second one, a rebound off the ropes, and a heel kick takes Valentine down to the mat. Valentine, look at this right here, rolls him up into a pin. 1, 2, no. Still no. George the Animal Steel doesn't want to give up here. Steel makes himself back inside the ring, tags Valentine with a shot to the back of the head, follows it up with a DDT. George the Animal Steel setting it up on Greg the Hammer Valentine. Up over their shoulders we go. And a sit-out slam from George Steele with a cover, but too close to the ropes. Valentine back up on his feet real quick. There's an uppercut from George the Animal Steel. He's starting to take control of this match back up again. Lou Albano putting hands on Greg the Hammer Valentine. He should have been thrown out just for that. Here we go, George the Animal Steel on his turnbuckle fetish as he rounds up Greg the Hammer Valentine. Valentine puts on the brakes and slams him down with one arm. And again, Captain Lou Albano arguing with Greg Valentine, keeping him distracted while George Steele gets back up. Valentine right there whips him into the corner, turns him around again, has him all the way up, back suplex from Valentine. Valentine swept and taken down by George Steele. Here's a pin. 1, 2. But again, just another near fall. George the Animal Steel again disassembling another turnbuckle. Again, Valentine goes up over the shoulders and slams face first into a flapjack. Steele rounds up Valentine. Whoa! Valentine tagged him a beauty with that knee right to the face. Greg Valentine taking him down. He's had enough. There it is, the figure 4. And when Greg puts on that figure 4, whoa, he let the hold go right away. I wonder what's up with that. Valentine drags Steele. Look at this. Albano getting involved. Greg Valentine going to any means necessary to win this match. But Lou Albano distracting the referee. George Steele gathered up. An elbow to the midsection from Steele. And a knee to the skull from Valentine. Valentine going for a cover. 1, 2, 3. And I'll tell you what, he put George the Animal Steele's lights out. Greg Valentine wins by pinfall.
At 8 minutes and 32 seconds, your winner by pinfall, Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Did you catch the face on Lou Albano, Gene? Oh boy, is he mad.
No, certainly is. And why not? George the Animal Steele's failed him this time. Greg Valentine picking up the pinfall win over an idiot.
I don't know, Gene. The guy's got rudimentary talent. It's just that, well, he's got that weird turnbuckle fetish, too.
An incipient case of monomania, Danny. The man is a psychopath and an idiot.
Ah, well, you know, some people keep Teslas, some people eat turnbuckles. Each to their own, I always say. In any case, Greg the Hammer Valentine picks up the 1-2-3 pinfall over George the Animal Steel. And fans, we'll be back with a whole lot more RWL Southwest Wrestling right after this brief message. Stick around. Okay, guys and gals, it's time for our next matchup, and this one's going to be a good one. Primetime Bobby Mills of the Unholy Trinity putting in an appearance against X-Pac, accompanied by you-know-who, Scott Bell.
It doesn't bother me anymore. Scott Bell is in his proper place now.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next matchup set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Pineville, West Virginia, weighing 243 pounds, here is Primetime Bobby Mills.
All right, Gino, Primetime Bobby Mills making the scene tonight on his own without Big Bob Duncan or Dutch Mantel.
Danny, it's a decision he'll come to regret, especially with Too Short Popeye on the side of X-Pac.
Hey, while we're on the subject, now that you're the new general manager, how's it feel to know that Too Short Popeye is just, well, a glorified manager these days?
It feels excellent. It's where he deserves to be. Scott Bell is an incompetent who has no business trying to run this business.
Yeah, but you can bet old Too Short's gonna be quick to offer an assist to X-Pac if he gets in trouble.
Which is why I would have preferred it if Primetime Bobby Mills had Dutch Mantel or Big Bob Duncan backing him up at ringside. And here comes X-Pac, accompanied by that sniveling little anywhere.
Now, Gene, watch your language. You just got this job.
And his opponent, accompanied by Too Short Popeye Scott Bell from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing 223 pounds, X-Pac.
Just another bottom feeder in the vast stable of bottom feeders run by Scott Clay Bell, X-Pac, former NWO, former DX, former whatever the hell you want to call him, but definitely one of the more unpopular guys in Scott Bell's stable.
Add to that, he's an incompetent screw-up. Always has been and probably always will be.
Now, I ain't 100% sure about this, but it's my understanding that this is going to be the first encounter between X-Pac and primetime Bobby Mills. And on that generous basis alone, this is going to be a good match.
Well, let's get all the pyrotechnics out of the way. Go on, X-Pac, you great fool. Go on and get your rocks off.
Wow. Geez, Gene, you're in rare form tonight.
Can't help it. I despise X-Pac. I wouldn't urinate on the man if he were on fire.
I'm an expert on cruel, Gene, and that is exceptionally cruel. All right, primetime Bobby Mills and X-Pac, all set to go here. The ref rings the bell. X-Pac delivers a dropkick to primetime. Primetime Bobby Mills rounded up to one knee. X-Pac misses with the double X handle. Decides to change his mind and go for a pile driver instead, and he got it, and so did primetime Bobby Mills. He caught all of it. Too Short Popeye standing right there ringside looking all smug as X-Pac works the head and neck of primetime Bobby Mills. X-Pac with Bobby in the Dragon Sleeper. Bobby counters it, grabs X-Pac, whips him into a snapmare, and right back to working the head and neck of X-Pac. X-Pac gets his way to his feet, tags Bobby with a right, and a wraparound neckbreaker. X-Pac drags primetime center ring, goes for a pin here, but only a one. Primetime Bobby Mills gets right back up, a dropkick, takes X-Pac down to the mat. Primetime follows it up with a stomp, misses with another one, but catches X-Pac with a beautiful spinning neckbreaker. X-Pac brought back to his feet again by primetime Bobby Mills. Primetime catches a couple of rights from X-Pac, catches X-Pac, slams him down with one arm. Not bad at all. Primetime Bobby Mills with another standing dropkick that doesn't make the mark. X-Pac counters with a couple of kicks to the leg of primetime, turns primetime around, and now into a rear naked choke. Submission move here, but primetime finds his way out of the move. Primetime slides out of the ring. What the hell's this about? He's complaining to the referee. X-Pac comes out after him. Primetime. It was a trap. That's exactly what it was. Primetime taking X-Pac off guard to set up this airplane spin on the outside while the referee counts. Primetime Bobby Mills gathers up X-Pac. X-Pac counters, goes behind. Tries to set up a move, but primetime tags him with a right. Drives him headfirst into the ring post. Too Short Popeye, no doubt wanting to get involved real bad. Primetime Bobby Mills eyeballing X-Pac, catches a kick to the midsection, and a Russian leg sweep from X-Pac. And there's the old suck it, the crotch chop from X-Pac. Primetime makes his way to his feet, catches a right from X-Pac. X-Pac takes him down, hangs him from the bottom rope. Now that's cruel. Primetime steps out again, steps back inside, tags X-Pac with a right. He's got X-Pac, sets him up against the ropes. Let's see what he's got here. Oh, man, hangs him up off the top rope by his abdominals. Primetime sets up X-Pac, slams him down to the canvas. Primetime Bobby Mills with a boot to the face of X-Pac. X-Pac catches a spinning neckbreaker from primetime Bobby Mills. Primetime Countered by X-Pac with a kick. And a hard right hand. X-Pac pins. 1. And only a 1. Again, Primetime Bobby Mills sits right the heck back up. Look at this. X-Pac. Quick with the counter. And a drop kick that puts Primetime down face first in the canvas. X-Pac drop kicks Primetime in the corner. Turns him around. Primetime counters and escapes the corner. Rounds up X-Pac. Snake eyes head first right into the turnbuckle. Primetime Bobby Mills starting a rally here, but X-Pac trying to break the rally. Nails him with a backbreaker. X-Pac going for another cover here. But again, only just a 1. Primetime Bobby Mills giving X-Pac some serious trouble here. X-Pac tries for the pile driver again. Whoa! A second pile driver to Primetime Bobby Mills. He ain't going to be able to take too many more of those. Primetime counters with a shoulder and a sunset flip with a pin. Look at this, a reversal. Another reversal. And 3 near falls in that one single move. Primetime swings and misses with a right. X-Pac counters with an elbow. Primetime with a kick to the gut. And a clothesline that takes X-Pac down. X-Pac steps out, steps back in. Primetime steps out, steps back in. Primetime Bobby Mills catches a hold of X-Pac. Lines him up against the ropes. See where we're going here? A rope-assisted stomp to the face from Primetime. Primetime Bobby Mills rounds up X-Pac. Whips him into the corner. X-Pac counters with a knee. Puts Primetime in the corner. Primetime counters with an elbow. Grabs a hold of X-Pac belly-to-belly suplex from Primetime Bobby Mills. Primetime with all the momentum on his side at the moment. X-Pac seated in the far corner. Whoa! A double X handle right to the side of the head. Primetime with a jumping elbow takes X-Pac down. X-Pac right back up again. X-Pac grabs a hold of Primetime Bobby Mills. Smashes his head into the turnbuckle. But Primetime with a gut-wrench suplex seemingly out of no place. Primetime Bobby Mills looking pretty confident right about now. X-Pac trying to make his way to his feet. Primetime countered. Whipped to the corner by X-Pac. And now X-Pac rounds him up by the leg. Sits him up on the top turnbuckle. Is it a top rope superplex or what? Nope, not this time. Top rope facebuster from X-Pac. X-Pac rolls over Primetime. Covers and hooks the leg. And that's a 3 count. It's all over. X-Pac defeats Primetime Bobby Mills by pinfall.
The time was 7 minutes and 5 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, X-Pac.
Confounded, I was favoring Primetime Bobby Mills. And all this is going to do is give both X-Pac and Scott Bell swollen heads.
Oh, yeah, as if they didn't have ego problems enough. Well, there you have it, folks. X-Pac picking up the pinfall win over Primetime Bobby Mills, utilizing a top rope facebuster, a move that we don't see all too often, but it sure did the trick for X-Pac tonight, and I'm sure both him and Too Short Popeye Scott Bell will be celebrating.
I'm so glad we've got him down to a manageable level. It'd be absolutely insufferable if he was still running things.
That's also true. All right, folks, when we come back, a whole lot more RWL mat action, so stick around. We'll be right back after this message. All right, people, coming up next, more Legends Division action. This time, Jim the Anvil Neidhart of the Hart Foundation. One-on-one against the returning The Godfather.
Has been a long time. I can remember the last time we saw The Godfather. He wrestled Big Cass on Rage.
You know, Gino, you got a memory like an elephant.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this next match, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. pounds, Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Well, we was already in Las Vegas, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart come across town from Reno to compete against the Godfather tonight, and it's gonna be a great matchup.
The Anvil is the power half of the Hart Foundation. Jim the Anvil Neidhart will have to go it alone without the excellence of execution. Bret the Hitman Hart. I believe he has what it takes to defeat the Godfather.
While Jim the Anvil Neidhart's built like a refrigerator, you also got to consider the Godfather's just a little bit bigger and maybe just a little bit stronger.
Well, of course I considered that, but it's been a very long time since we last saw the Godfather.
And his opponent from the Red Light District, weighing 305 pounds, here is the Godfather.
And you know, Danny, the Godfather never travels alone. Means he's brought along two of his associates.
Oh, you mean the hoes.
Try not to use that word. We don't want any trouble with YouTube.
Point taken, Gino. Well, the Godfather, his appearances are rare, but they're always stellar. And this match against Jim the Anvil Neidhart, definitely going to be worth checking out.
I'm banking on the technical brilliance of the Anvil to prevail in this match. The Godfather, talented though he might be, is more sizzle than steak when you compare him to Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Well, yeah, but Jim the Anvil Neidhart doesn't come to the ring with, two fine ladies.
Yes, associates.
All right, have it your own way, associates. In any case, the Godfather and his two associates making their way into the ring right now, warming up for this matchup with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and I don't mind telling you, Gino, that associate on the left, the blonde with the go-go boots, she don't look half bad to me.
Nor I, Danny, nor I. However, let's allow the Godfather to do his thing, as it were.
It's time, once again, for everybody to come aboard the
whole train.
Man, I know that I ain't the only one. Is there any pimps up in this house? To all y'all that know that the Godfather be pimping hoes,
Nationwide.
man, I want to hear you from the top of this building to the front row and everybody in between. Light it up for the Godfather and say,
Pimpin' ain't easy.
I take it, Danny, you've seen this routine before, and probably more than once.
Does it show?
Like someone with a big nose.
All right, this Vegas crowd all set for some Legends Division competition here. Both the Anvil and the Godfather stand ready. There's the bell. They lock up. Anvil winds up the arm of the Godfather. Goes behind on him. Godfather looking for a way out. Turns it around on the Anvil, takes him down to the canvas and into an armbar. Anvil rolls his way out of it. The Godfather's got him locked up against the ropes. The referee gonna have to step in and break this up. The Anvil with a fireman's carry on the Godfather. The Godfather being escorted to the ropes, but he delivers a couple of elbows to the midsection of the Anvil and says, nah, that's all right, I don't think I want to do that. Pitches him halfway across the ring. The Godfather, whoa, look at that. Anvil puts on the brakes and delivers a slap to the face. Whoa, a clothesline from the Godfather. The Anvil goes behind. The Godfather counters with a hard shot to the back of the head and another and a third. The Anvil bouncing off the ropes here. Godfather whips him to the ropes. Perfect power slam. The Anvil has the wind knocked out of him. The Godfather going for a pin. Not even a one count. Jim the Anvil Neidhart still with too much gas in the tank. The Anvil countered on the neck breaker. Another clothesline from the Godfather, followed up by a couple of good stomps. Gotta admit, I like those lime green pants. The Godfather trying to keep the Anvil under control. Good luck with that. Jim the Anvil Neidhart tags him with a couple of rights. Jim the Anvil Neidhart hangs the Godfather off the top rope. The Anvil countered by the Godfather. One-arm takedown. The Anvil being dragged center ring again. The Godfather rolls him over, goes for the cover again. Got a 1 this time, where he didn't get nothing at all before. Misses the kick. The Anvil goes behind, drives a knee into the back of the Godfather. The Godfather, with another clothesline, takes the Anvil down. And the Anvil Neidhart laid out on the canvas. The Godfather really going to work here. Rounds up the Anvil. Whipped into the corner. The Anvil counters. Rounds up the Godfather. Snake eyes right across the top turnbuckle. The Godfather whipped to the ropes. The Anvil takes him down with a shoulder tackle. Jim the Anvil Neidhart going for his first cover of the match. And only gets a 1. The Godfather still... Whoa, look at this. Quick counter elbow from the Godfather. A hard right hand stuns Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Whipped out over the top rope, down onto the floor. The Godfather trash-talking Jim the Anvil Neidhart as the ref starts to count. The Anvil brought up by his throat. Counters with a right and a shoulder. Drops the Godfather, rounds him back up again. The Godfather counters with a kick. Swing and a miss. The Anvil counters quickly, takes himself back inside the ring. The Anvil with another hard right. The Godfather whips him into the corner. Let's see what we got cooked up here. He's got the Anvil seated into the tree of woe. Oh, man. Throws a big-time knee into the stomach of Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and here's another cover. Only another 1. The Anvil catches another kick to the back from the Godfather. The Godfather drives a knee into the head of Jim Neidhart, and he is working this crowd here in Las Vegas. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, with any home field advantage he's got to hang on to it. The Anvil takes the Godfather down, brings him back up, swings him around with a right. And here we go. A Cobra clutch submission. The referee checks the Godfather. The Godfather finds his way out of the hold. A kick to the Anvil. They lock up, they tussle. Anvil shoves him away. The Godfather whips him to the corner. Turns him on around. Uh-oh, you know what time it is? You know what time it is, Gino? It's time to ride the whole train. Wow. Down goes Jim the Anvil Neidhart. The Godfather, that whole train took a lot of steam out of the Godfather, I guess. Rolls over Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Covers. Just the 1. The Godfather can't believe it. The whole train didn't do the job. The Godfather moves in on Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Rounds him up over the shoulders. Tags him with a Death Valley driver. Covers and hooks the leg. And that's a 3 count. The Godfather defeats Jim the Anvil Neidhart by pinfall.
The time of the match was 5 minutes and 41 seconds, and your winner, the Godfather.
I admit 2 things immediately, Danny. The first being that I was wrong. The second being, I'm very surprised the Godfather managing to outlast Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Outlasted him is exactly what he did, because let's face it, Jim the Anvil Neidhart didn't just lie around waiting to get beat up. He fought back, and he fought back hard. The only trouble was the Godfather just had a little bit more pep and outlasted him just long enough to get the 3 count pinfall.
I really did hold out hope that the Anvil would be the one to outlast the Godfather. But let's give credit where it's due, Dan. The Godfather certainly succeeded in outlasting Jim the Anvil Neidhart to get this win, and he certainly earned it.
There's no need to sound so bitter, Gino. I know you're a Heart Foundation kind of guy, but the Godfather, like you said, earned the win.
And so, fans, after a long and sustained battle, the Godfather, with a little help from his associates, picks up a win over Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
And when we come back, it's gonna be Rockin' Robin in the house. So don't go away. We'll be right back after the break. Now, Gina, we only got one ladies division match tonight, but it's a killer. The self-professed baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey, set to go against Rockin' Robin, accompanied by Jake the Snake Roberts.
Excellent. There's been an awful lot of hype about Rockin' Robin since her return.
Oh, it ain't hype, Gino. Everything's true.
And here is Ronda Rousey. Now imagine being a top UFC star, winding up scraping the bottom of the barrel and selling your soul to Scott Bell. And look at the scowl on that face. Looks like someone's urinated in her cornflakes.
Yeah, I had an ex-wife that looked like that all the time, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next ladies division match set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by Too Short Popeye Scott Bell, from Venice Beach, California, the self-professed baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey.
At one point, Ronda Rousey could lay claim to the title of baddest woman on the planet. You'll remember in the UFC octagon, she defeated her next to last opponent in a mere 38 seconds. And now look at her, working for Scott Bell.
Yeah, how'd the mighty have fallen, huh?
Her opponent, accompanied by Jake the Snake Roberts from Charlotte, North Carolina, here is Rockin' Robin.
I'll tell you what, Gino, Rockin' Robin has been getting herself a lot of attention since she came back. And now she's got her brother, Jake the Snake Roberts, backing her at ringside. And he's been pretty well behaved. He ain't made no trouble so far. But, Rockin' Robin, Ronda Rousey. This match brought to you by the letter R.
Look at this. I'm on Sesame Street now, for crying out loud.
You know, Gino, you're a general manager now. You should smile more.
I tried that. Made my face hurt.
Well, it's like I said, if you've only got one ladies match, make it a good one. Rowdy Ronda and Rockin' Robin, there's the bell. The ladies move in, they lock up, headlock from Rockin' Robin right out of the gate. Cinched in pretty good too. Robin squeezing, but Ronda Rousey pushes her off against the ropes, a shoulder, and takes her down. Ronda catches a jawbreaker. Oh, wow, Rockin' Robin hung up on the rope. Ronda Rousey, with a rope assisted knee to the back of Rockin' Robin, that was just vicious. Ronda Rousey trying to hang on here, but Rockin' Robin tags her with a forearm, backs her out. A standing dropkick, takes her down to the mat. Oh, Rockin' Robin, definitely hot. She moves in, and there's, whoa, well, over the top rope, out onto the floor. Goes Ronda Rousey, here comes Too Short. Don't you touch her, you dope. Ronda Rousey with an elbow, tries for the belly-to-belly, but Rockin' Robin tags her with a couple of rights. Robin whips Ronda to the corner, drop kick to the back. Rousey back up on her feet, Too Short Popeye distracts her. Just long enough for Ronda to land that modified Samoan drop. Rockin' Robin rounds up Ronda Rousey. Got her by the bike shorts. Has her up. Vertical suplex from Rockin' Robin. Jake the Snake Roberts cheering his little sister on. Too Short Popeye Scott Bell trying to act all nonchalant. Ronda Rousey trying to get back up on her feet. Rockin' Robin is on fire here. Robin with Ronda Rousey by the hair. Ronda counters with elbows. Locks up Rockin' Robin, has her up, one arm suplex. Now into a head scissors, but oh, look at this. Scott Bell introducing a chair into the thing. Ronda Rousey. Whoa, that looks painful. Ronda Rousey with the, oh, wow, that was brutal. Now Too Short arguing with the referee of all things. Rockin' Robin back up on her feet. Charges. Catches a kick from Ronda Rousey. Drives a knee into the head of Ronda Rousey. Ronda counters with an elbow to the leg. Robin counters with a kick to the gut. Swing and a miss with a slap. And there's another Samoan drop from Ronda Rousey. Ronda with a clothesline. Follows up with a second clothesline. Rebounds off the ropes, and a third clothesline takes Rockin' Robin down with her head against that steel chair. The ref needs to get that out of there. Up over her shoulders. Whoa! What a nasty slam right there. Ronda covers. But just the two, with Rockin' Robin kicking out. Robin gathered up again. Ronda Rousey countered, slammed down to the mat. And Rockin' Robin sets up with an ankle lock. Referee checking Ronda Rousey. She's trying to get to the ropes any way she can. Winds up having to counter to get out of the hold. Rockin' Robin goes up over the shoulders, slammed down by Ronda Rousey. Robin rolls out of the ring for a reset. Makes her way back inside. Nice hip toss from Rockin' Robin. And yeah, so far, not a single move a referee could even question. Ronda Rousey laid out on her back. Rockin' Robin perched up on the second rope. Whoa! Missed with the crossbody. Waited a second too long. Rockin' Robin gathers up Ronda, has her up. There's a power bomb with a pin. And she turns it over into a Boston Crab. The ref asking Ronda Rousey what she wants to do. She sweeps the leg. Gets out of the hold. Rockin' Robin gets to her feet first. And she's firmly in control. A hard clothesline. A second. And a heel kick from Rockin' Robin. That's Ronda Rousey climbing the ropes to get back to a standing position outside on the apron. Rousey counters with a right. Stuns Rockin' Robin. There's another right that takes her down to the floor. And a stomp. Rockin' Robin losing control of this as Ronda Rousey starts to assert herself. Robin counters with a hard right and a beautiful arm drag. That was nicely done. Rockin' Robin again making her way to the middle rope. Ronda Rousey stands up, and here we go. Both ladies wrecked. Wow, that was high risk. Rockin' Robin countered with an arm drag by Ronda. Ronda gathers her up. Robin counters with another right. Whips Ronda to the corner. Has her up on the top turnbuckle. It's going to be bad news for Ronda Rousey. Rockin' Robin up on the top rope with Ronda, and here we go. Top rope superplex right in front of Too Short, too. Too Short, bye-bye. Eyeballing Rockin' Robin like he wants to do something. Ronda Rousey brought back into the ring. Robin turns her over, covers. But just the two. Ronda Rousey getting the shoulder up. Take the Snake Roberts. Watching his sister work here. The ref finally gets rid of that chair. Ronda Rousey catches a knee to the midsection and a drop kick from Rockin' Robin. Robin drags Ronda center ring. I thought it was a cover, but no. A modified Fujiwara armbar with the leg involved too. The referee asking Ronda Rousey what she wants to do, and she is kicking hard trying to get out of this thing. Ronda finally does escape the hold. Rockin' Robin back up on her. Whoa! That was a beautiful rolling sweep that took Ronda down. Rockin' Robin catches a dragon screw from Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey catches a jawbreaker from Rockin' Robin. An arm drag from Rousey. Rousey takes Robin down, lines up the arm, and snaps it. Robin back up on her feet. A hard right. An overhand right takes down Ronda Rousey. A stomp to the midsection. And here we go into a bow and arrow stretch. definitely a scientific move and a half. Referee checking Ronda Rousey. She hasn't given up. Ronda Rousey laid out as Rockin' Robin releases the hold. Drops a leg on the arm of Ronda Rousey. I'll tell you what, time's running out here. There's a jawbreaker from Ronda. A right to the face. A shoulder tackle takes Robin down. Ronda gathers her up again. Counter from Rockin' Robin puts Ronda over the top rope, out onto the floor again goes Rockin' Robin. Ronda Rousey gets hung up on the top rope, and she's stunned. Robin whips her to the corner. Beautiful monkey toss. Robin looks like she's going to make her way to that middle rope again, and she sure does. Ronda Rousey standing up. Robin fails to connect with that shoulder. Ronda Rousey's got her up over her shoulders. And there's that Samoan drop again. Ronda covers. 1, 2. We're running out of time here with less than a minute to go. And still no winner. Ronda Rousey deciding what she wants to do here. Rockin' Robin shoves her away. Slams her down on the mat. Oh, look at this. Rockin' Robin looks like she might be ready to wrap this one up. Hopefully, with less than 30 seconds to go now. Ronda Rousey with a clothesline takes Robin down. Here's a stomp. An elbow from Robin. Ronda whipped to the corner. Another monkey toss. And time is definitely running out. Rockin' Robin quickly goes for the cover here. 1, 2, 3. Talk about your buzzer beaters with 9 seconds to go.
The time of the match, 9 minutes and 51 seconds. And here is your winner, Rockin' Robin.
I confess myself duly impressed with Rockin' Robin and her new philosophy. Purely scientific moves. Something we do not see all the time.
And you know what else? It's working like gangbusters for her. She ain't lost a match yet. And she's faced a lot of people.
Well, if she keeps it up long enough, she'll be competing for a Ladies Legends Championship before too much longer.
Yeah, that's the general feeling amongst most fans. Rockin' Robin really not doing too badly for herself, picking up a pinfall win over the self-professed baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey. And anytime Scott Bell loses is always a good time to you, ain't it, Tino?
You got that right.
Our main event, when we come back from the break. Don't go anywhere. All right, gang, how's this for a main event? The Macho Man Randy Savage set to go against the dual champion, the Mexican Monolith, Warlord Santos, by special arrangement.
Yes. Thank you, Tex.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event tonight is set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by Too Short Popeye Scott Bell from Sarasota, Florida, weighing 252 pounds. Here is the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
This main event is something of a collaborative effort between myself and Hangman Tex Lynch. From his earliest days, Warlord Santos used to work for Scott Bell. Now he's a top star, and he would love to see Macho Man defeat the Mexican Monolith and get back some sort of retribution in that way.
Yep, Too Short has never forgiven Warlord Santos for turning on him like a starving pit bull in a daycare center.
His opponent, representing the Stronghold from Hidalgo, Mexico, weighing 496 pounds, he is an RWL dual champion and the reigning RWL Super Heavyweight Champion, the Mexican Monolith, Warlord Santos.
And the Mexican Monolith didn't mind too much taking a short trip out here to Las Vegas to upset Scott Bell's plans and to beat the snot out of Macho Man Randy Savage, which he's gonna do, let's face it.
Denny, I don't know if Warlord Santos has completely forgiven Scott Bell, but he certainly hasn't forgotten the years of abuse he sustained during his earliest years in RWL at the hands of Too Short Popeye. And so it was no big thing for the Mexican Monolith to take a short plane ride out west to teach Scott Bell yet another lesson.
So what do you think, Gino? Is the Mexican Monolith going to destroy the Macho Man?
Not permanently, no. Just enough that he'll never forget the beating he's about to receive.
This ought to be great. Santos don't like Macho Man, and he damn sure don't like Scott Bell.
This should prove to be an excellent main event.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, Gino. All right. The ref rings the bell. Savage charges, collides with Santos. Santos whips Savage to the corner. An elbow to the face. Santos brings him up by the throat. Has him up, sets him up for the backbreaker. We've seen this before. It's a double. He's going for another one. Walks Savage around, nails him with a second backbreaker, and down goes Macho Man. Too Short Popeye watching closely. Randy Savage charges, misses with the elbow. Santos locks him up. Savage whipped to the ropes. Up and right back down into a spine buster from Warlord Santos. The Mexican Monolith all the way up on a top turnbuckle, and here we go. An elbow drop right across the chest of the Macho Man. And Savage ain't offering a whole lot of offense, is he?
Most certainly is not. He's taking a serious beating already. It hasn't been all that long either.
A stomp to the midsection from Santos. Savage rolls out onto the floor. The Mexican Monolith rounds him up on the outside as the referee starts to count. Savage sweeps the leg, takes Santos down on the floor. Tags him with a right. Rounds him back up. Look at this. Santos puts on the brakes, tags him with a headbutt. Savage trying to make his way back inside the ring, but the Mexican Monolith not giving him any opportunity. Santos has Savage up over his shoulders. Drops him head first right into the lip of the apron. Warlord Santos rounds up Savage again. Almost head first into the ring post. Savage somehow put on the brakes. Don't ask me how he did it. Savage makes his way back inside the ring. Santos right there waiting for him. And there's a trap squeeze. And Savage is going to get ready to go nine-nine in just a minute. Yeah, that's it. Betty Bye time for the Macho Man. The Mexican Monolith takes himself all the way topside again. Nails him with an elbow right across the back. Warlord Santos goes for the cover. And that's a wrap. The Mexican Monolith defeats the Macho Man by pinfall.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time of the match, 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Warlord Santos.
Ha ha ha! A squash. That's exactly what we just saw, Danny. The Mexican Monolith absolutely destroys the Macho Man.
He sure didn't give Savage a whole lot of opportunities to defend himself, did he?
Most definitely not. Randy Savage has not only been beaten, he's been absolutely humiliated, and by extension, that goes for Scott Bell, too. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this edition of RWL Southwest Wrestling. As always, we thank all of you for joining us, and we remind you to stay tuned. Immediately following this telecast will be RWL Snarl from Charleston, South Carolina. For Chicago, Danny Awesome, and myself, Gene Berry, we thank you, good night, and we'll see you next time.